Hi everyone, this is Joel Pettigrew, the director of Waking the Play, and I just wanted to do kind of one final update, sort of vlog thing for you guys, because I'm not going to have time going forward, I'm not going to sleep tonight anyway, so I might as well just record one kind of final update. I just wanted to reflect back on just the journey it's been bringing this to the stage. This, as some of you may know, the story has been with me for a long, long time. This is something I learned about 10 years ago, way back in a Psych 101 course. And it was so fascinating to me that it never left me. I would go on and I would write other plays and, had my awkward writing period where I was just kind of trying to find my voice and all that stuff, and just I tried a whole bunch of different things, but Waking was always kind of there, or at least the idea for it was always kind of there, and I would slowly pick away and do more research and just kind of look in and trying to reacquaint myself with the story every once in a while. But it wasn't until probably March of last year when I started to seriously take all that research and write it into what would be Waking. Some of the ideas for some of the early scenes, which if you've seen the play, and if you're going to see the play, you'll see. So some of the early scenes, like the very first two scenes, the early scene where it's just kind of a look into what life must be like to have your memory reset every couple seconds, and then the scene where somebody who has never met someone with this severe degree of anterograde amnesia learns how to properly talk to them. Those two scenes were, from the get-go, early ideas I had that have stayed with me throughout the years. And a lot of the other stuff really kind of formulated, and last March was the first time I really seriously tried to put it all together into one kind of cohesive ball, even though a lot of the early ideas still stayed the same. And it went through a lot of changes. In the first week of sitting down to write it, I wrote 3 drafts, and a lot changed in those drafts, and some things have been taken and reworked and folded back into other things. I was submitting my demo reel just before that, and I had submitted it off the week before and had got some kind of a deadline that I had to do. So I was working on my demo reel the week before, and the very next week I jumped in and wrote 3 drafts of Waking, and then a week or so after that I found that it got picked up for a local festival in Toronto, the AOS Festival, and and then we were right into casting, like, almost immediately. And, since, had I known then that would lead to what would end up being my life for, over a year, is just working on this show, not once, but twice now as we're doing the remount. As I tell people, it's still not over. So the version you see is a 1 hour version of this show, but there is a 2 hour version of this piece that has been written as well, and there's many other different versions. We're at draft 11 or 12 now, and there's completely different scripts with completely different titles that have also been written based around this material. So a lot has gone into this show, a lot, and that's just in the writing phase. A whole bunch of our actors are also producers, and some people have lent their choreography skills, and one of our performers basically became our improv director for the cabaret when we were back promoting this show way back in April. And a lot of people are just, and some people are volunteering to, friends and family members volunteering to put their time into getting our flea market events up, and helping us transport things. Friends and family members have donated money and props and time and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of people. This is the cumulative efforts. What you'll see on the 30th to the 9th is the cumulative efforts of so many people without whom this project would not be able to happen. And it's just been a very crazy ride. I'm not used to being with material for this amount of time, and it's only kind of reflecting on it that I realize how long it's been with me. Typically, when I sit down to write, I sit down, I write, I produce it, it gets put on, and then I move on to the next project. But, you know, maybe it's kind of ironic dealing the subject matter of waking is about the inability to remember things, but this is a project which has stuck with me for the better part of a decade. And I think that's just because there's something about this story, about this material, that just is so universal that people, every time we talk to people about it or people see it, they'll just come up to us and will tell us again and again and again how similar this is to things going on in their life. And to, friends and family members they have and they know who are going through something, if not similar, if not exactly similar, then at least somewhat related. This is a very extreme case, and I think when you kind of scrutinize things under this kind of fine a lens, this kind of deep, when you look at something this close up and see what the extremes of it are, it kind of shows also what everybody else goes through. This is a hyper, I would say hyper exaggerated, but of course this is based on a real case, but I mean that case is hyper exaggerated of what many families deal with when it comes to Alzheimer's and dementia. And more than that, it's seeing the bits of humanity that the disease can't take. It's seeing the important things that are left behind, those human things that are left behind. As the doctor in the play says, the most important things in life are always the first to burn, but they're also always the last things that remain standing. And it's just showing how those core bits of humanity can't be taken, even by the ravages of memory loss. It's been such a pleasure to have the ability to work on this show with so many different wonderful and talented and committed and hardworking individuals. Peter Jackson said that when he was directing, he would like to stop and take stock of everything and just say, is there anywhere else that I would rather be right now? And the answer always has to be no. This is exactly where I want to be and what I want to be doing. And I cannot think of anything I would have rather been doing for past over a year than bringing Waking to the Toronto stage, not once but twice. What a wonderful opportunity to have, and it's a story that I just am completely confident in and completely dedicated towards telling. This story lasts. This story sticks with you. This story, it just has so much truth in it and so much sadness and so much hope and so much joy and so much love and so much heartbreak, and it connects to the root that it will touch so many people in different ways. And I'm just glad to have this opportunity, and I'm glad to be able to do this. I'm glad that this is my life and my career, and I'm so excited for next week when everybody finally gets the opportunity everybody who didn't see it the first time finally gets the opportunity to see it again in our beautiful venue, the Al Green Theater, located at 750 Spadina Avenue. And to be bringing it to you with the Fringe. I'm really happy I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here, and you know, this tired talking into a webcam at almost 1 in the morning when I still have more work to do. Because that's what this project is. The Waking is just, it's such a compelling story to me that I just keep coming back to it year after year after year after year, and seeing what all these wonderful artists I've gotten the opportunity to work with have also brought to the table, have also seeing them breathe life into my words and putting their unique stamp on this project, everybody contributing in their own way. Just it's been an amazing an amazing ride. I can't really say what's next for Waking. I can't really see what's going to happen after this. I'm just kind of looking forward to opening night and then just the run of the show. But I know this is a story that I'm just going to keep coming back to throughout my life and throughout my career, and that it's something that's just always going to be there. Whether I don't get the opportunity to touch it again for a while, or if we immediately go into another remount, which who knows is always possible, right? It's incredible to have this opportunity and to be here, kind of looking at going forward. Next week, by next Thursday. Wow, today, is that a week today, really? A week today, well, a week yesterday, really, because it's night now, but a week yesterday is our opening night. So, and I would just like to thank everybody who has supported us this far, everybody who's donated their time and their money, and who has, even just reposted some things and got the word out. I'm amazed at just the community that is gathered around this project to support it. We're over 300 likes on Facebook, which is amazing to me. I never thought we would get anywhere near that. I thought it would just kind of be friends and family here and there sharing it, but it seems like a lot of you have just spread this thing to your networks, and I thank you so much for it. So many of you have, come out to our events, whether it's our fundraisers or our garage sale, our cabaret night, or have just donated. Some of you have just donated money to us directly, and just, everybody who's just kind of sending their love our way and just been really enthusiastic about this project. Even some of you have, seen it before and just saying, yeah, I can't wait to see it again. Just thank you so much for your support. Theater doesn't exist without its audience, and you've just been a wonderful community. It's been wonderful to have that going forward and being able to put on this show. So yeah, it's a little indulgent on my part, but I thought I would just kind of wax nostalgic for a bit. Just take a moment, just take a breath, take a breathe. I've got some more work to do tonight before we go into what is going to be our, not counting the technical rehearsal, our second last rehearsal tomorrow, because it's actually at that point. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable every time you do a show. You work on this thing for so long, and it just kind of stays in isolation. It just kind of stays in its little box, and only kind of the people going to the rehearsals know about anything that's going to happen. But it always feels amazing to think that, wow, this is actually going to go up, and there's actually going to be an audience, and which is what it's all for, but they're actually going to be able to enjoy it. I'm always amazed. There are just these moments that happen in the production, from people reading your words back at you from that first audition to the first reading, and then throughout the rehearsal process, and then there's the moment where you're standing at the back of the theater on opening night, and you're seeing it all before an audience, and it feels real, and it feels amazing. And it starts from a place where I scribbled something down, clicking away at my laptop, not knowing if it would ever see the light of day again, because many scripts don't make it to the stage. I've been lucky to have had many of my scripts be performed before an audience, whether I was directing it or not. But I was lucky to have my words been brought to life by actors many times before. But many of them don't get that chance. For all the scripts you see that make it to the stage, many don't. it's an amazing, amazing feeling, and I have to thank our community again for making all of this just a wonderful ride. Just having you there with us, having you there for the behind the scenes videos and our yawn of the day and our 30 days of hats and all of our social media promotions and things like that, and just having you all along for the ride. It's been great. It's been amazing, and I can't wait for you all to see it. And on that note, I'm just gonna say goodbye, good night. For you, you're gonna sleep. I'm gonna do some more waking stuff. Ciao.